My name is Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Welcome. What a great day, right? What a great day. A judge overturned a lower court, and Alligator Alcatraz will remain open. And, Alligator Alcatraz, and there's other prisons and detention centers just like Alligator Alcatraz springing up all over the country. But, Alligator Alcatraz is important for the work they do there, but it's also, um, Alligator Alcatraz is a very important symbol for what's going on in this country. And what's happened is President Trump is literally taking our country back from these radical, lunatic, corrupt public officials that have been destroying our country on so many levels. We have been invaded for decades and decades with millions upon millions of people that are coming into this country illegally. And if that's all they did was just come here and then did nothing else wrong, it'd still be bad. But the ones that are coming here and doing all kinds of things. In the very least, they're draining our public system, crowding our roads in some of these big cities, causing rent prices to go up. These are the minor things they're doing, causing rent prices to go up by filling up rental properties. Welcome, Pompano Beach, Mark. Putting a strain on our healthcare system, illegally getting health benefits, using hospital emergency rooms as free clinics, doing crime, violent crime, filling up prisons, putting a strain on local law enforcement around. There's so much being done to this country by illegal immigration that is draining our resources, on top of the fact that Americans are victimized in all kinds of god-awful ways that I don't have to remind you of, as well, by the worst of them. And President Trump is repelling the invaders from our country. And you have these radical judges that are not really judges, they're liberal activists, liberal revolutionary anti-American activists that are trying to continue the downfall of the United States. And the lawfare is continuing with these federal judges. So federal judge ruled that they had to close down Alligator Alcatraz. A higher court overturned that decision. So Alligator Alcatraz will remain open for business. And, people that say, oh, the conditions are horrible. The conditions, so far as a detention center, are pretty good. They have very good air conditioning. It's clean. It's new. It's, they have all kinds of things there. There's a jail, a local county jail down the street from Alligator Alcatraz called the Chrome Detention Center. It's one of the worst jails, if not the worst jail in Florida. A lot of Florida prisons don't even have air conditioning. These guys get all the benefits in this detention center. I'm sorry, they got to go back. But it's a strain on the system. I mean, think about how much money the government is spending on all these things that the illegals are draining from our nation. Imagine. I mean, how much of your work each year is dedicated just to cover the expenses that illegals are costing our country? Nobody, you don't even want to know that. It's depressing. So you look at the Democrats, what they're opposing, right? They're opposing cleaning up crime, so they're pro criminal. Now they're even coming out pro international drug cartel trafficker, because they're upset that Trump is taking the war on drugs literally. So now they're out there advocating for drug traffickers, right, to import drugs into the country. So geez. What the Democrats are doing What the Democrats are doing is off the scale of the ability to measure. Yeah, they're talking about how what President Trump did with taking out the drug traffickers' boat is wrong. He didn't have the authority. It's unconstitutional. Blah blah blah. There was no warning given. All that. That's pro cartel, pro drug trafficker. And there'll be more of that. Liverpool, welcome. Welcome from the home of the Beatles, Liverpool in the UK. Welcome. Yeah. So, how could you be opposed to deporting people who are in the country illegally? Right? They're here illegally. They are criminals. And to say that Donald Trump is anti-immigrant, the first lady is an immigrant, right? Melania. President Trump's been married 3 times. 2 of his 3 wives have been immigrants. His children, except for Tiffany, are all first-generation Americans on their mother's side. Isn't that something? Yeah, I mean, it's an immigrant family, the Trump family. Hardcore immigrant family. So this idea that he's anti-immigrant is just insanely stupid to even suggest. Democrats always confuse immigrant with illegal immigrant. That is correct. And they all say, well, your ancestors came here. When our ancestors, most of us came here, over 80% of Americans are descendants of immigrants that came to America after the Civil War. Okay? So, depending on which side of my family you go to, I have some that were here before and some who came after. But after the Civil War, there was a lot of restriction on immigrants. It was done by nation. Only so many Irish, so many Germans, so many French. That's how they did it. Anti-brown. No, the border invasion is mostly non-white. That's just a coincidence. It doesn't matter. You can't have people over here doing crime and draining our system and overrunning our country. Welcome, Albert, in the Philippines. Welcome. Or because they're not white, they should be able to come here illegally and drain the system and get free housing, free education, free food, and do crime, violent crime? I don't think so. An invasion, yes. There's been tens of millions of illegals have entered the United States through the southern border. That's an invasion. Absolutely, it's an invasion. It's a land invasion. You kind of think that type of warfare is out of style, but it's not. I'm still waking up. I've not had my coffee. I'm waiting for Starbucks opens in about 45 minutes. Good morning to you. Yeah, the exact number we don't know, but whatever number they give us, the highest number you get from the government's like 20 million, 25 million. It's much more than that. Much more than that. And the forces against America, they're very smart. They've just been invading us by land from the southern border mostly, some from Canada, but mostly the southern border, and infiltrating. I mean, how do you think you got the squad? The squad exists in Congress because of this. They, what the enemies of the country, the tool they use against America is one of our greatest assets, but they find it to be a weakness, and that's our love of diversity and welcoming others. And that's what's gone on here. What Tucker called the Great Replacement Theory is true. It's a land invasion to transform the country into another country. And bring down the United States as we know it. And if Trump had not been reelected to this second and non-consecutive term, they would have been successful. Yeah, I mean, there's no getting around it. If you're new to my channel, my name is Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Make sure that you subscribe. The next stream after this, I'll be in the studio taking calls. This is kind of the pre-show. So I want to open up to a celebrating that Alligator Alcatraz will stay open, as I predicted when that liberal judge ruled to shut it down. I said, no, it's going to stay open. And that's an exciting thing. And today on the show, it's Open Mag and Mike Friday, open phone. So on today's program, the stream after this, you can call in on the program and talk about any and everything on your mind. But I'm going to open celebrating Alligator Alcatraz. Tell me, yes or no, are you excited that Alligator Alcatraz is going to remain open thanks to a court order overturning the lower court? Yes or no? Are you glad that Alligator Alcatraz is going to stay open? I'd put a yes in myself, but I can't type in the chat while I'm streaming. I'm going to give it a yes. I'm happy it's staying open. How could you not be? Yeah. Look at all those yeses. Absolutely. Yeah. That's amazing. I mean, who runs the country? Some judge who may not be wearing anything under a robe that hates the country, or the president of the United States? Who's in charge? You can call when I'm in the studio taking calls. I'm just now in my car waiting for Starbucks to open, so I can't take calls here. But no profanity. No profanity. It's on the radio. Yeah. And I will be starting early. The live feed says 6, but I will be starting early. As soon as I get my coffee, I'll fire up the stream. So I'll probably be 30 or 40 minutes on before that. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. I'd love to hear an argument against Alligator Alcatraz remaining open. They should really look to impeach some of these judges. I mean, they're just corrupt. I'm surprised how many of these judges are not natural citizens. How many of them, a lot of them are immigrants. Some of them have dual citizenship. It's crazy. I love this thing. So Blackstock wrote, these liberals, they have this stupid question. I see it all the time. Explain woke. It's extreme liberalism, and it's stupid, insane, self-destructive, lunacy, insanity. I mean, woke. That's what woke is, and a bunch of other things. Liberal delusions. Exactly. I don't know why they ask that question all the time. Do they think it can't be explained? Right? I don't understand why liberals ask that question. Liberals are brain dead. They're a bunch of parrots. They're worse than zombies. They're parrots. They can't really talk. They mimic a sound that they hear, and they get it kind of right if you know what they're trying to mimic and you can hear it. That's how liberals are. They're like parrots. They just mimic something. They don't know. Like a parrot, they mimic the sound, but they don't even know what it means. Right? Explain woke. What is that? Some brilliant, deep, intellectual, liberal question? It's complete insanity. I don't know why. I don't know why liberal trolls ask that question. Almost every stream, I see at least one liberal ask that question, like it's some profound, deep question that exposes the right. Woke in a nice way. It's complete insanity. I mean, that's a nice way to say it, I mean, you got men playing, in a boxing ring, beating up women in the Olympics, saying they're women. That's insanity. That's woke. Yeah. A parrot seems not, I mean, everybody likes a parrot unless it bites you, but that's the best way. Now I'm live. I am live. That's the best way to explain how liberals are with their talking points. They don't even know what they're saying. They're always vacuous talking points. That's right, Trump 2028, baby. That's exactly right. I am a parent, yes, I am a child. A grown child. It is 4:20 a.m. here at Mar-a-Lago time on the East Coast, and wow, 78 degrees already. I have the AC on in the car here. It's a little hot. Welcome. Welcome. If you're new, make sure that you subscribe. So I'm going to open celebrating Alligator Alcatraz, because how could you not? How could you not? Right? We're taking our country back. That's it. You know, there was that one Democrat yesterday, Congresswoman, who was talking about the illegals are her constituents. What? How can foreigners be your constituents when you're in Congress? Bot farming? Yeah, who knows? Who knows? No, they're just mindless. Liberals are just mindless. You know, and the liberals, the arrogance of the left, they think they're so much smarter than everyone, don't they? They are sad. Liberals are definitely sad. If you're new, you'll love this channel. I promise you that. No doubt about that, actually. Oh, I need some coffee, though. I wish that Starbucks was open 20... They should be open 24 hours. Shouldn't they? Don't you think Starbucks should be open 24 hours? I do. I think they should be open 24 hours. Alaska, welcome. What time is it in Alaska? It's about coming up at 11:22 p.m. It's the night before still. I guess it depends on... Alaska's got to be in more than one time zone. Who pays tariffs? Foreign nations, foreign companies, American companies overseas. None of the prices have gone up due to tariffs. That's another one of their great questions. Who pays the tariffs? All of a sudden, they're against taxes. You know, the White House and Republicans are talking about banning transgendered people from buying guns. Watch how quickly when that discussion starts. The dialogue hasn't really started yet on that. Watch how quickly Democrats start arguing against gun control. Right? They're arguing in favor of criminals. This is just this week. They're arguing in favor of criminals. They're arguing in favor of the drug cartels and drug traffickers. Watch, the next one will be, they'll be arguing against gun control. "80% of research papers?" I don't care about research papers written by a bunch of liberal PhD eggheads that don't know what they're talking about. President Trump's a leading economist. He knows when it comes to money, he knows exactly what he's talking about, President Trump. 80% of research papers. Are those the same researchers that tell us about climate change, global warming, all that crap? Probably. Same type. Academics. Academics, they never leave the college campus. They don't know what the freak they're talking about. Yep, make sure you subscribe, guys. Absolutely. KKK, no, I'm not a Democrat. It's a Democrat organization. The KKK was maybe the first Democrat community activist organization. It was founded by Democrats to maintain Democrat control after the Civil War in the South. That's why they formed the Klan, the Democrats. That's right. The Democrats are crazy people. But there's fewer of them all the time because the whole country is being magnetized and red-pilled, so, yep. Nope, they did not become Republicans. It cracks me up, that big switch. You know, I was talking to a caller about this who called me on the show a couple weeks ago. This big switch in the 60s that they keep talking about, where all the good people became Democrats that were Republican, and all the evil Democrats became Republicans, and all the good people became Democrats. Where was this in the news? This momentous event where the Democrats and Republicans all met and switched parties. Okay, you racist, you're going to be Republicans now, and you good, kind people, you're all Democrats. Where's the newspaper articles of the day about this, or the television coverage? Don't you think if this big party switch happened, there'd be some major news coverage of such a momentous event? It's one of the biggest urban legends out there. It's a myth. It did not happen. There was no party switch. There was no party switch. They take that thing with the Dixiecrats and they've turned it into this whole fable. All the Dixiecrats went back to the Democrat Party except for one. There were about 20, can't remember the exact number, between 22 and 27 Dixiecrats. I can't remember the exact number. It was in the 20s. And every one of them went back to the Democrat Party except Strom Thurmond. And they've turned that into a big switch. Everyone went back to the Democrat Party except Strom Thurmond. 23. See, I was in the window. But if they did a big party switch in the 60s, I promise you, there'd be newspaper articles about it in the archives. There would be television stories and all kinds of things. We've seen nothing because it didn't happen. Didn't happen. Now, if you can produce the primary source, the newspaper articles of the day that shows that it happened, I'm very open to that. But it doesn't exist. Just a bunch of lying historians who claim it happened. Yeah, Ukraine. Well, there's a lot of people that used to be Democrats, right? Ronald Reagan, President Trump, Tulsi Gabbard, right? A lot of people used to be Democrats. Elon Musk. A lot of people grow up out of the Democrat Party and become conservatives. Yeah, it does happen. Yeah, but Ukraine, did you see Putin invited Zelensky to Moscow for peace talks? No, that's crazy. They'll kidnap him. Ted Cruz was born in Canada. That's right. That's right. His dad was hiding out from a Jim Garrison subpoena. It's believed by many. That's why he was in Canada. Yeah, in most instances, people just grow up. And when they grow up and become mature and see the way of the world, they become Republican. There's a lot of ex-Democrats. It doesn't go the other way so much, does it? If anyone goes from Republican to Democrat, which you'll hear from time to time, they were always a liberal Democrat pretending to be a Republican. You can't go back to that. Or they've had a serious head trauma. Have you all subscribed? Make sure you subscribe, guys. Which creep, Joe? I mean, I'm excited that Alligator Alcatraz is staying open. I'm very excited about it. You'll catch me on Newsmax over the weekend. I'm going to be on Newsmax a few times on a couple of different shows. But I recorded yesterday an episode of the Wendy Bell Show that'll air multiple times over the weekend. But I'm going to be on another show too. That'll be live. So you can check that out as well. I'm not going to say which show it is until after I do it, but I'll be on live and then the recorded Wendy Bell Show. Welcome, everyone. So look for me on TV. Oh, boy, I tell you, yeah, the Wendy Bell Show, we covered some really good topics. You won't want to miss it. I'm not going to talk about them now because I don't want to spoil the show, but we talked about some really good topics. You won't want to miss it. That'll air Saturday and Sunday multiple times, afternoons and evenings. And the other show I'm going to be on, I'm not going to say which one until after I do it, but it's going to be live. I was on live a couple weeks ago, which was it was the first time I was live. I've done quite a bit of pre-tape shows, but it was my first live one on television on Newsmax a couple weeks ago, and then I'm going to do another live show tomorrow. Yeah. I like the live. I was the first time I did the live, I was a little nervous, but it went by quick. It went by so quick. Doing it live. And I don't know why you gotta drop the F-bomb. Where's everyone located? Where are you guys watching from this morning? Like, what state or country are you in? Of course, I'm in Florida. What state or country are you guys in? A lot of flags there, Elliot. No more specific than that. State or country. Maine. California. Oh, boy. Wyoming. Minnesota. Is that Los Angeles or Louisiana, Teresa? So you said, so I'm going to say Louisiana. Australia. Northern Cal. Florida State. Florida State University or in the state of Florida? I hope Florida State wins tomorrow. I'm going to watch the game tomorrow. Southern Ohio, New Zealand, Kansas City, Missouri, Georgia, Kansas, Oregon. Loser. Wow. Little confession there for Magic. He says he's a loser. Mexico, you got deported. Oh, well. Michigan, Tucson, Commie, New York, Maui. Awesome. Kay is in Washington. I'm assuming that's state. Daniel's in Ohio. Welcome, everyone. Oregon coast. Yeah, welcome, everyone. Welcome. Well, it's different times for everybody. Some people are waking up like I'm doing, and some people will be heading to bed, right? That's amazing. Global and national audience. Make sure that you subscribe. Yeah, I mean, you know, when Trump is done deporting everyone, which will be going on forever, California is going to become a swing state really quick. And the next election or two, the next presidential election or two, California is going to become a swing state. And then it'll become Republican again. Remember, we got Reagan and Nixon from California. You know, so, I mean, how many, you know, you don't think they're going to have ICE people patrolling in Southern California for the rest of the term? Of course. There's going to be major ICE raids constantly. I cannot wait for it to become a swing state. That'll be the first stage, but it'll go back to being red again. There's more Republicans in California than in Florida. And people say, well, the population's bigger. Well, it's not as big as it was with all the deportations that's going on and self-deportations. I'm not going to put up with somebody saying negative things about Jesus or Mother Mary. Not going to happen. I'm pretty open-minded to letting things happen, but those things are... I'm Christian, I'm Catholic. I'm not going to allow that. Nope. I have a very high tolerance, but not when it comes to that stuff. MAGA T, Make America Great Again Today. That's awesome. That's a new. I should get a hat. Make America Great Again Today. That's right. That's a good one. I don't know if I've heard that one. Make America Great Again Today. I don't know if I've heard that one before. I like that. MAGAT, Make America Great Again Today. You're pretty MAGA. That's right. Let's make it great again every day. There it is. Make America Great Again Today. Noah, Make America Great Again Today. That is so awesome. That's great. I'll wake up as soon as I get my coffee, which I'm very behind on. Oh, yeah. So when I open up the next stream, I'll be taking live calls. So I'm going to open up celebrating Alligator Alcatraz, but it is open phones on Friday. So I call it Open MAGA Mike Friday. You can call in about any and everything on your mind. You know, my wife, my wife had one of her tweets liked by Bobby Kennedy Jr. yesterday afternoon. I couldn't believe it. I took a screenshot. It's on my Patreon. I posted the photo of the screenshot on my Patreon page. So you guys that are Patreon supporters, you can see it there. But he had asked a question. This was after all the hearings yesterday. Bobby Kennedy, he had asked a question on X. My wife responded to it, and he liked it. I couldn't believe it. I got a notification on my phone. Bobby, it wasn't one of my posts. It was on my wife's X account. It's like, wow. My wife on X is Gucci MAGA. I'm Brian Craig Show on X, but my wife is Gucci MAGA. I know, it's pretty crazy. You know, my goodness. Oh, I spent all day yesterday talking about Epstein and all of that, Mike. All day on the show yesterday. On the morning show. But it's open phones. You can bring it up today if you want to call me on the air. It's open phones. I know, it's pretty cool. I mean, I've been retweeted by President Trump a couple of times, which was really exciting. That was so exciting. I remember the first time President Trump retweeted me, I tweeted something about one of his poll numbers when I woke up. Because first thing I do when I wake up is I grab my phone. And I tweeted something about the latest poll that had Trump way up. And I get in the shower, and I have my phone laying on the next to the sink in the bathroom, and I'm getting all these notifications on my phone. I'm like, what is going on? It was like 2 a.m, and President Trump had retweeted me, and people were retweeting and liking that tweet like crazy because he retweeted me. I was like, holy smokes. That was great. He retweeted me a couple times. It was pretty cool. Oh no, I was very proud of that. Are you kidding? Oh yeah, that was exciting. It was exciting. Yep. That's right. Welcome, everyone. If you're new to my channel, welcome. This is a great MAGA community. And this channel is the most pro-MAGA space you'll find anywhere. You liberals will love it. You're into spaces. You know what I saw for the first time a couple days ago? I saw that social app that all the liberals are using, Blue Sky. What a bunch of garbage that is. There was a celebrity that I was looking up, and they had their links, and I thought it was X, their X link, but it was Blue Sky. I don't have the app. What a lame app. It's a liberal echo chamber. Oh no, this is not. This is a space for everyone, but it is the most MAGA, pro-Trump place ever. You'll never hear me disagree with President Trump. You'll never hear me criticize President Trump. Never going to happen. Never has. Never will. Never have. Never will. Exactly. Well, I mean, what has he ever done or said that should be criticized? I can't think of anything. No, not brainwashed. Not brainwashed. Very well aware. Donald John Trump, that's right. DJT. Make America great again. That's what MAGA is. Make America great again. That's right, Renee Lawrence. He's always spot on. Make America great again. All right, we'll take a drive to Starbucks. Hold on, let me put the phone down for a second. Hold on, guys, while I back out of my driveway. I just got an Amazon delivery. Those guys work early, man. That seems like a very stressful job, being an Amazon delivery driver. I've watched a few YouTube channels about people that are Amazon drivers, and it seems very stressed. They're so monitored and so timed. It's like they're slaves. I'll tell you another thing that's about to drop is, you can tell it's happening, is the Biden auto pin pardons are going to be canceled. That's right. Illegal pardons, that's a great one. I can't wait for that. But I'm really excited today. President Trump is going to sign this executive order renaming the Defense Department the War Department again. And, you know, It was the War Department until after the Second World War, and it should be called the War Department. The Defense Department's too weak. You want to be tough, you know? I turned the air off, but I had to turn it back on. It's hot. Oh, the left will have a freak out about that, too. Although he's defending the homeland, War Department just sounds more intimidating. It's a deterrent. Wow, there's a lot of traffic. It blows my mind how much traffic there is before 5 a.m. It really does. When I get to Starbucks, I'll take a quick look at the chat, guys. Be there in just a minute. Guys, let me take a quick look. Welcome, everyone. Yeah, if you're new, make sure you do subscribe. That's another thing. They keep, you know, the trolls, they have a variety of just stupid things that they say. That's another one. Bootlicker. What? Because we love the country, we support the country. That's bootlicking. Oh my goodness! What are we supposed to do? Support these people that are pro-criminal, pro-drug trafficker? I don't think so. I don't see how that makes us a bootlicker. Yeah. Make sure you subscribe, guys. All right. I'll see you on the next stream in about 30 minutes where I'll be taking live calls. My name is Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Take care. Thanks for watching.